Hello and welcome back to our Lord of the Rings LCG solo progression series. And today's quest is the nightmare version of Road to Rivendell, which was the second adventure pack in the Dwaradelf cycle. A quick reminder, in this series we're playing through each quest in chronological order of the game's initial release, and we'll only be using player cards that were available at the time of this quest release. I'm calling this deck Fury Road. Sort of a sequel name. The original quest to Road to Rivendell, I called that deck Road Warriors. And so it makes me think of Mad Max, that series of movies. And so since this is the Nightmare sequel, I figured I'd call this deck Fury Road. Kind of a cool name. Beorn, Frodo, and Legolas are all heroes we're familiar with. Legolas I've only used once before, but a very familiar hero from the core set. And I don't think I have any new cards in play here. These are cards we've seen. But this deck is all about protecting Arwen. The encounter deck is going to try to destroy her, our objective ally Arwen, even more so than the original quest tried. And so we will do our best to protect her. So we've got a few tricks up our sleeves. Let's get to the quest and see how we do. All right, opening hand. I don't mind having Gandalf. That's a good card draw. I have part of card draw is probably the most important thing I think to have originally, because if you can draw cards pretty quickly. Like if I had a sword, I'd keep the opening hand for sure because I'd have Foehammer and an accompanying weapon. A Test of Will's not so bad to have, and pretty quickly I'll be able to play Gandalf and draw some cards. I don't know, I think I'm going to mulligan this hand. Okay. Maybe the other one was a little bit better, but oh well. All right, here's the setup card for the Nightmare version of Road to Rivendell. We have to remove the following cards in the following quantities and shuffle in the Nightmare cards. And right away we see the art indicates that Arwen is going to be under a lot of pressure in this quest. You are playing Nightmare mode. Force: when an enemy with the ambush keyword engages a player during the quest phase, it contributes its threat to the total threat in the staging area until the end of the phase. So let me just remind you, if it's been a while since you've looked at Road to Rivendell, it has a unique keyword called ambush. So let's see, here's Orc Raiders, for instance. So if this came out, and it's all about entering play, it's not really about reveal. So there are other ways enemies can enter play, but if an enemy with ambush enters play, it immediately makes an engagement check. In fact, on the original quest cards, it's spelled out what ambush does. After this enemy enters play, each player makes an engagement check against it. And so in the old quest, there was a little bit of a silver lining. This guy would engage us. A nasty thing would happen. There's always forced effects when these enemies engage us, but at least the threat was gone. But now, in the Nightmare version, the threat would remain, and I'd just put it on this card, but the threat would remain in staging if it was added, if it ambushed us during the quest phase. So a slight uptick in difficulty in the Nightmare mode, but not much of one. What's difficult is the Nightmare cards themselves. Your party has braved the snows of the past, but now must travel north along the Misty Mountains for league upon league as you escort Arwen to her father's house. For setup, we'll put Arwen Undomiel into play under the control of the first player. And so here she comes. She'll be our objective ally. The first player gains control of Arwen Undomiel as an ally. Response: after Arwen Undomiel exhausts, choose a hero. Add one resource to that hero's resource pool. If she leaves play, we are defeated, and the deck definitely will try to make that happen. We reveal one card per player and add it to the staging area. That card is going to be Orc Ambush. I hate this card, so I don't mind seeing it early. Nothing happens because we have no Orc enemies in the staging area or otherwise, and so that just surges into Goblin Trapper. So here's our first ambush keyword. We're in setup here, but the ambush still happens. Goblin Trapper says ambush, and so that means we have to make an engagement check. Our threat is at 28, so it will not ambush us. It will not come down here and engage us. Whenever it does, there's a force effect when it engages us, but for now, he just enters staging. 20 progress needed. This is a wild and perilous country, and it is dangerous to follow the roads. The mountains rise up on the right, impassively watching your slow trek among their foothills. Okay, resource phase. And planning here. Let's just think a little bit about what we want to do. I'll go ahead and put out an ally here just to, well, I'd like to try to play Gandalf next round. So let's go ahead and quest with, well, he's going to, if we engage him optionally, we could get rid of him. So let's go ahead and put out, let's do this. Let's do Rivendell Blade, because when he engages us, he's going to make us exhaust a character. We could exhaust Beorn, and then we could attack and destroy Goblin Trapper. Well, Beorn can just attack him, though. We won't play any cards right now. I don't want to. The Orc Raiders, I think is what it's called, makes us discard attachments. So I'm really loath to put out an attachment that I might have to discard. And I, would maybe want to play Feint and Gandalf next round. So let's quest with Arwen and with Frodo, and we'll put a resource on Legolas. And we'll reveal. We put a resource because of Arwen and Domiel. That's what we did. Okay, so with a response. Okay, so when this enemy enters play, he has the ambush keyword, so he makes an engagement check against us. There is no, our threat is underneath its engagement number, engagement cost. I don't know, I can't think of the name. I think it's engagement cost. Anyway, so it doesn't engage us, it doesn't ambush us, but we made 0 progress. In fact, our threat went up by 2, but what we'll do here, just to save our bacon, we'll play Elrond's Council action. If you control a unique Noldor character, give another character +1 willpower until the end of the phase and lower your threat by 3. And so our willpower will go up there, and then we'll do it again. And that means we were not unsuccessful. Our threat did not go up, and we're down to 22. And I can play this because I control Arwen and Domiel, who is a unique Noldor character. Okay, during the encounter phase, I can, if I want, go ahead and engage one of these Goblin Trappers and get rid of the threat in stage, and I think I will. So we'll optionally engage him. Forced, after a Goblin Trapper engages a player, that player must exhaust a character he controls. We'll exhaust Legolas. Goblin Trapper is going to get a shadow card. Now, during the first few rounds of the game, you're really sort of at the mercy of sort of luck. There's 2 cards in the deck called Sleeping Sentry. That shadow says discard all exhausted characters. That's really brutal. So what we're going to do is just play Feint at this point. Cancel that attack. Let's see what the shadow was. It wasn't anything, but Beorn can attack for 5 and destroy Goblin Trapper. We'll refresh. Next round. And we do want to play Gandalf here for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's play Gandalf and draw 3 cards. We'll quest with Arwen and with Frodo. We'll put a resource on Frodo to protect us, in case we get one of the Sleeping Sentries. We could afford to play a hasty stroke, and we can even play Feint if we want to, depending on what happens. I think I will leave Gandalf ready. Actually, no, I won't. I'll quest with him. We reveal Undisturbed Bones. When revealed, each player must deal X damage to one ally he controls. X is the number of allies he controls. We control 2. We'll put that on Gandalf. And we made 5 progress. Now I can, optionally during encounter, I could optionally engage Goblin Trapper and destroy him like we did last round, but there's not really an advantage to me. I'm not really worried about 3 threat and staging, so let's refresh. Gandalf is discarded at the end of the round, next round. A little worried about Undisturbed Bones coming out again, so let's go ahead and play Winged Guardian. And we'll quest with Frodo, and with Arwen, we'll put a resource on Legolas. And we reveal another Goblin Trapper. And so it wants to ambush us, but our threat is underneath the engagement cost, so it doesn't ambush us, and we were unsuccessful in the quest. Threat goes up by 2. And I just don't want to leave this much threatened staging, so let's optionally engage Goblin Trapper. This one says after Goblin Trapper engages a player, that player must exhaust a character he controls. So we can exhaust Winged Guardian now. And because we have Hasty Stroke, we don't really need to play a feint. Let's block the attack with Beorn. 3 against 1. Beorn does not exhaust to block the attack. The enemy gets +2 attack. That's going to be 5 against 1, so 4 damage on Beorn. And Beorn and Legolas together can destroy Goblin Trapper. And Legolas's response says, when he participates in an attack that destroys an enemy, place 2 progress tokens on the current quest. So we're up to 7. Refresh next round. Would love a location so we could play Ancient Madam. Card draw is a little slow here. Again, I haven't put out a sword because it's not really worth it since I don't have Foe Hammer or even Goblin Cleaver. So I'm not really wanting to put out Blade of Gondolin quite yet. But let's play an ally here, Eagles of the Misty Mountain. And we'll just leave our Eagles down here on the bottom row. And we will quest with Arwen and with Frodo, putting a resource on Legolas. We'll also quest with Eagles of the Misty Mountains. And reveal Raiding Party. And so it wants to ambush us, but our threat's kind of is a lot lower than it usually is so early in the quest, so it can't ambush us. And we made 1 progress. So we can do this thing with Goblin Trapper again. I think I want to. Let's optionally engage Goblin Trapper. He's going to attack for 3. Let's block that attack with Beorn. 3 against 1. Again, Goblin, the attacking enemy gets +2. So that's 5 against 1. So Beorn can't really block anymore. So we'll attack and destroy Goblin Trapper. Oh, and I had to exhaust a character when he engaged us. And so I exhausted Winged Guardian. And we destroyed him and made 2 progress along the Misty Mountains. I seem to not really recall putting progress. Revealed Raiding Party. Yeah, I made a progress during questing. Refresh. Next round. Just slow card draw here. Usually I do a little better with card draw than we're doing here, but just the way it goes. Again, no reason to play one of the weapons. Let's quest with Arwen and Frodo, and with Eagles of the Misty Mountain, we'll put a resource on Legolas and we'll reveal Sleeping Sentry. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. Then exhaust all ready characters. So we'll put a resource. We can't cancel it because we don't have Test of Will. So 1 damage on Arwen, 1 on Frodo, and then 1 on Eagles of the Misty Mountains. Now, if she can't get another damage, if she is damaged again, we lose the game. And now it says defending player must discard, that's the shadow, then exhaust all ready characters. So here we go. And we made 4 progress. And luckily our threat is still underneath this engagement, and so we will not have to engage Raiding Party. Refresh. Next round. There's a Test of Will a round later. Let's play Eagles of the Misty Mountain. I think it's more than 1. This is sort of a flock of eagles. All right, since we have Test of Will, we'll quest with Arwen. We'll put a resource on Legolas. We'll quest with Frodo. We'll quest with Eagles of the Misty Mountains, both of them. And we'll reveal Wild Bear, which wants to ambush us, but our threat is just still kind of low, so it doesn't ambush us. We made 6 progress. And we have cleared along the Misty Mountains. We advance to a new Nightmare 2A, Ambush in the Night. When revealed, search the encounter deck, discard pile, and victory display for Goblin Gate and add it to the staging area if able. I don't think it's in the discard pile. Yeah, it's not. It's kind of an orangey looking thing. So here it goes. It's added to the staging area. We'll look at it in a minute. And now we shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. So all these cards come back. Then we discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until X enemies have been discarded. X is the number of players in the game, so 1. We discard until 1 enemy is discarded. We reveal all enemies discarded by this effect. There we go. So he's revealed and he is added. Mostly he's added to the staging area, I think. Yeah, reveal. He's just revealed and put into play, into the staging area. So he entered play, and so he makes an engagement check against us. We're just underneath its engagement of 30. So we don't have to be ambushed again. I have never seen this many non-ambushes in this. Usually I'm being ambushed left and right. We're getting kind of lucky because all the slow card draw worked out, I guess, that we could kind of optionally engage when we wanted to. All right, so now reveal all enemies discarded by this effect. We did that. When revealed, the first player loses control of Arwen Undomiel and attaches her to Goblin Gate. So we've lost her. She's attached to Goblin Gate. While she is guarded, the first player cannot gain control of Arwen Undomiel. So she has this sort of always active ability or text. The first player gains control of Arwen Undomiel as an ally. So anytime the first player token were to switch, she would immediately follow that. So if this is unguarded, she'll just come back down here. But right now she is guarded by Goblin Gate. So she was taken hostage by all these enemies. Really cool theme there. Goblin Gate will get +1 quest point for each enemy engaged with a player. In progress cannot be placed on this stage, Ambush in the Night, unless the player's control or Arwen Undomiel. Okay, during the travel phase, we'll travel to Goblin Gate. Now it has an effect. Well, it's nice to get the threat out of staging, but while it is the active location, the first enemy revealed from the encounter deck each round gains ambush. There are a few enemies that don't have ambush. If that enemy engages a player, it makes an immediate attack. Deal and resolve a shadow card. Okay, during the encounter phase, it makes sense to get rid of Goblin Trapper again, I think. So let's do that. He engages us. When he does, we optionally engaged him. After Goblin Trapper engages a player, that player must exhaust a character he controls. We'll exhaust Winged Guardian. He's going to attack for 3. And we still have Hasty Stroke, and we're not as worried because we don't have Arwen now, so let's just let him attack. Actually, we can't because Beorn can't continue. Well, we'll just go ahead and... It's the same. If we let him attack, well, we could take it undefended on Legolas. Let's let him attack. Okay, we can't. Attacking enemy gets +2 if engaged with the first player, so that's 5 attack. We'll put it on Frodo. I was hoping he wouldn't get boosted. We could just put the damage on Legolas. So 5 undefended, we'll put it on Frodo. And use his response for the once per phase. And we will attack for 8 and destroy Goblin Trapper. And that's a lot of Goblin Trappers, man. Okay, so Legolas's response, we put 2 progress on Goblin Gate. Refresh next round. And let's go ahead and put out both Ancient Mathams. We're going to hope for quite a bunch of cards to be drawn here. Again, no reason to put out a weapon. It's just kind of a strange playthrough in that sense. We will have 2 enemies engaged with us, so that's going to boost, because of this effect, the quest points is going to go up on Goblin Gate. But no reason to put out a weapon. All right, we will quest with Frodo and with the Eagles of the Misty Mountains, and we reveal Turbulent Waters. We made 1 progress on Goblin Gate, so we're up to 3. And now during the encounter phase, we have to engage both of these enemies. So here comes Raiding Party and Wildbear. They make engagement checks against us, and both of them have forced effects when they engage us. First, Wildbear. After Wildbear engages a player, it makes an immediate attack. And we'll just, he's going to get a shadow card for this immediate attack. We'll take it undefended because we can put it on Legolas. And so we'll put it on Legolas. And that shadow card is discarded. So that was the immediate attack during the encounter phase. Now this force effect says after raiding party engages a player, each player discards the top card of the encounter deck, just one card for us in solo. Each player who discards an enemy with the ambush keyword must make an engagement check against that enemy. Okay, so it's not an enemy. If it were an enemy, from the discard pile, it would make an engagement check. If it engaged us, it would engage us. If our threat was lower than its engagement, it would just stay in the discard pile. So kind of a strange forced effect there. But now we're in combat, and we're definitely going to play Feint to cancel the raiding party's attack. And then it's just not worth, I don't think, playing Wizard's Voice. Let's just take another undefended here. If the defending character is an ally, discard it from play, but 2 undefended will put it on Frodo and use his response. And now we need to attack and destroy for sure raiding party. So let's go 5 and 3. We will destroy raiding party, because this is one of the nice things about Beorn and Legolas. All these enemies, like for instance Wildbear and even raiding party and several others, have combined health and defense of 8. So we destroy that. And Legolas's response puts 2 progress on the Goblin Gate. And we needed that 2. His response puts 2 progress tokens on the current quest, and it goes on the active location first. Goblin Gate gets +1 quest point for each enemy engaged with a player. And so it actually is at 5 quest points, and so we just cleared it. And so a few things are going to happen all at once. First of all, Goblin Gate is discarded. Arwen immediately comes back under our control because of her text. The first player gains control of Arwen and Domiel as an ally. Now we're in player attacks here. And then we have 2 Ancient Madams that were attached. And so each one of these response after attached location is explored, the first player draws 3 cards. So yay, we've made a bunch of progress there. And we are in player attacks. We might as well, let's do this. This is kind of goofy, but let's attack with Arwen. Let's attack Wildbear for 0. But response, after Arwen and Domiel exhaust, choose a hero, add 1 resource to that hero's resource pool. We'll put that on to Legolas. And she can't make a dent, but, hey, she exhausted, so kind of cool. We'll discard the shadow, refresh, and next round. Still no reason to put out, well, let's put out a sword, I guess, one of the weapons, because we do have Goblin Cleaver, which is great. We've been dealt quite a few of these trappers. They're great targets for Goblin Cleaver. So let's go ahead and put out a Blade of Gondolin. For now, let's play Gandalf, I think. We'll draw 3 cards. Okay. And now we'll put out another Blade of Gondolin and an Aether Swordsman. And each Outlands character you control gets +1 willpower. Okay, we will quest with Aether Swordsman, with Arwen, with Frodo. We'll put a resource on Legolas with Arwen's response. Boy, I'd like to see 4. So what I think I'm going to do is leave Gandalf ready, because if we get another 8 health and defense enemy, then we could actually destroy one of them with the combo of Beorn and Legolas, and then Gandalf plus these 2 guys could get the job done against another one. So let's just stop there. And we reveal Goblin Trapper, which will ambush us, so he engages us, but his threat remains in staging. And force, after Goblin Trapper engages a player, that player must exhaust a character he controls. We'll exhaust Winged Guardian. We made no progress. During the travel phase, we'll travel here to Turbulent Waters. And while it is the active location, players cannot optionally engage an enemy. Okay, we have a hasty stroke, so I'm not too worried about these attacks. Let's go ahead and just get rid of Goblin Trapper with one of these Goblin Cleavers. Combat action, exhaust a weapon. I just did. Blade of Gondolin. Exhaust a weapon card attached to a hero you control to choose an enemy engaged with you. Deal 2 damage to that enemy, but if it's an orc, 3. So 1, 2, 3. He leaves play. And he's gone. And now here is Wild Bear attacking for 2. So there is it's the Undisturbed Bones shadow that says if the attacking or if the defending character is an ally, discard it from play. So if I block with Gandalf, then I would have to play Hasty Stroke. So I think it's better for me just to play the Wizard's Voice, Doom 3. Or actually, no, it's not. We can take it undefended because 2 damage isn't that bad. It'll raise our threat by 3 anyway. So here's 2 attack, just undefended. And we'll put that undefended damage on Frodo and use his response. And now we can attack for quite a bit. We had plenty of... I was just getting ready for the possibility... This threat goes away. I was getting ready for the possibility of multiple enemies that had a combined health and defense of 8. So we destroyed him. And Blade of Gondolin has this response, just like Legolas. He puts 2 progress on the current quest. Blade of Gondolin puts 1. Blade of Gondolin puts 1. Those are all instances. 1, 2. That's just the 2 different responses from Blade of Gondolin. And here's the 2 from Legolas. That leaves play. And Boy, I should have put out Ancient Matham. I think I drew Ancient Matham this round. I don't remember for sure. But in response to destroying an enemy, we can play this Foe Hammer response after a hero you control attacks and destroys an enemy. Exhaust a weapon, a card attached to that hero and draw 3 cards. We are set with these attack, the Hasty Strokes and Test of Wills and stuff. So refresh. And Gandalf leaves play at the end of the round, next round. Let's play another Ether Swordsman. And let's play The Eagles Are Coming. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for Eagles cards. And we got one, Eagles of the Misty Mountains. And we'll quest here. Put a resource on Legolas, I think. We'll even quest with Eagles of the Misty Mountains. And we reveal Orc Ambush. This is going to surge. When revealed, all Orc enemies in the staging area engage the first player. If there are no Orc enemies in the staging area, return all Orc enemies in the encounter discard pile to the staging area if able. Let's just see how many enemies that is. All of these enemies. See how crazy this is? This is 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of them would come out of the discard pile into the staging area. No thanks. Let's play Test of Will and cancel that. That surges into Undisturbed Bones. When revealed, each player must deal X damage to one ally he controls. X is the number of allies he controls. We'll put that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll put that 6 damage on Winged Guardian. And so it leaves play. And it'll be face down. We'll attach it in response to this Eagles of the Misty Mountains response. After another Eagle character leaves play, you may attach that card face down to Eagles of the Misty Mountains. One of the nice things about these face down attachments is they are attachments we control, so they're good for discarding to the Orc Raiders card. Okay, so of course they're boosted. These Eagles of the Misty Mountains get boosted by +1 attack and defense for each face down attachment. We made 14 progress, so we're at 16. And that's it. We defeated stage 2B. And we are now at the, we're at the final stage. Approaching Rivendell, orcs and other creatures have hounded you since fighting your way free of the orc outpost. Soon you will reach the safety of Rivendell's borders, but supplies have dwindled and you are dead weary from sleepless nights of keeping watch as dark forms shadow your camp. When revealed, reveal one card from the encounter deck per player and add it to the staging area. Players cannot, or characters cannot be healed if the players defeat the stage, they've won the game. So we reveal one card, and it's going to be followed by night, which we don't mind at all. When revealed, the first player chooses one of the two options. Deal 1 damage to all allies in play, and followed by night gain surge. Or all enemies engaged with players make an immediate attack if able. All can be 0, so we're going to choose that option. 0 enemies engaged with players make an immediate attack. It's just one of the early card issues that is kind of player friendly. In the future, they design cards that don't do this, but this is by the book. We're not breaking the rules. So that was just a complete fizzle there. Okay, refresh, and next, and I think final round here. Let's put out our third Eagles of the Misty Mountains. And we'll put out one Vassal of the Windlord, and we're going to quest. And in response, Arwen will put a resource on, let's put it on Frodo. And we'll play Elrond's Council to lower our threat by 3 and boost Frodo. And we reveal Concealed Woods. And we made 13 progress, and that was it. We won the quest. 13 was all that was needed, and we just got it. So we did that in 10 rounds. Wasn't too bad. You could see how tough that treachery is. Orc ambush. We didn't see a lot of the harder enemies like Ulrich Elfstalker, but just remember that the attack and defense is 8, and so Beorn and Legolas can take care of that. And Legolas with his Blades of Gondolin just makes a lot of progress for us. Let me just kind of shuffle everything into the deck and then just go through and just mention a few things maybe that we didn't see, because there are a lot of little issues that this deck is built to deal with. Orc Raiders, again, if it engages us, we could discard the face down attachment under this Eagles of the Misty Mountains, so they're not so bad to have. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at my deck. Okay, browse. Just a few real quick notes. Ulrich Elfstalker, again, just you want to destroy him when you engage him. Deal 1 damage to Arwen if it attacks and destroys an enemy. And just in general, you don't want to chump with allies, because there's the Undisturbed Bones, which makes you discard a defending ally. This one doesn't have ambush, but it surges. Goblin Taskmaster, Raiding Party we saw. Chieftain of the Pit's just a heavy hitter. Krebine, while it's in the staging area, encounter card effects cannot be canceled. So if this surges into a Sleeping Sentry, well, you can't use Test of Will, so that's kind of a real dreadful combo there. But we pretty much saw all the tough enemies other than, I would say, the Ulrich Elfstalker. Locations. Just remember with these, like Pathless Country, force after at least 1 progress token is placed on Pathless Country, remove 1 progress token from it. But if you clear it in one go, you don't remove a progress. It just leaves play. Yeah, there's a bunch of cards we really did not see here. Treacheries. We saw all the treacheries at least, just maybe not as many of the enemies, but that is the quest, and we saw it all. The only thing we didn't really see was Knights of the Swan, which is boosted by Aether Swordsman, and even the attack can be useful. But generally, we got the gist of the deck, and I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. That's a fun one. Each playthrough is a little different, and it's just real combat heavy, which I enjoy those. Enjoy using Legolas when we can. Thanks for joining me, as always, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.